Hey everybody, it's Jamie here, and in 4 days, these are coming off. And that's my braces, not my teeth. So, yeah, I'm really excited, and I thought I'd make a little video. This is the last chance I'm going to have to make one. I'm going to be pretty busy the next few days. Um, so, where I left off was my year post-op video. And if you've watched any of my other videos, I had double jaw surgery and sliding genioplasty in June 2015. And it's been a long time getting to the end of my treatment just because the left side of my bite wouldn't close and my class 2 kept relapsing, and we'd fix one and one would go. So it's been a long time. It's going to be almost 18 months by the time I get my braces off since the surgery, and as of a few days ago, had braces for 30 months. So I know there's other people out there that have had them for longer, and my hat's off to them because I haven't had any patience left with this in quite a while. But anyway, on to the good stuff. So, like I said, I last left off in June for my year post-op, and at the time, I think we were still trying to close my class, or my left side. So, I was getting really frustrated with that. And then in July, I woke up one morning and I felt this like weird feeling in my mouth. I couldn't figure out what it was. So I kept trying to repeat it to figure out what it was. And I realized that it was my left molars touching finally for the first time in, I don't know, probably 2.5 years. I don't think they've touched in a long time. So that was really great. We kept trying to close it until October. And then at that point we switched things, but so it closed just the molars, but it wasn't perfect. Like, it would kind of come and go. And since I took those elastics off and switched to my new configuration, I haven't felt it touch again, but it's very close. Like, it's probably a millimeter away. So I'm hoping that when the braces come off, it'll settle and I'll be able to feel it. So I'll show you what it looks like now on that side. So yeah, it's not perfect. This, like, the teeth in front of my front molar up until, yeah, my canine touches. I'm not sure if the bicuspid or whatever behind it does. Um, so yeah, so it's not perfect. This side's not perfect either. It closes a little bit nicer though. The only teeth that I actually feel making contact are just like right here. So I don't think that's the way that it's supposed to be, but everything else is so close to touching that I'm hoping when the braces come off, it'll settle and it'll be for the better, which my orthodontist seems to think is going to be the case, so that's exciting. So yeah, in October we switched and I got bummer elastics for, I don't even know how many times I've had these stupid elastics. But I've been wearing a class 2 triangle on this side and a class 3 on this side. From October to November, it was 24 hours, but now it's just at night. We're trying to line up my midline. You can see it's not perfect. The left side goes off this way a little bit. It is very minor. And you know what? It's not even something that bothers me. I know other people get all crazy about their midline, but I've never really cared. So yeah, just within a few days of wearing the class 2 and the class 3 triangle all day, I noticed like things were really starting to come together in a good way, like better than I've seen it before. So that was really exciting. So in October, he said, everything's looking pretty good, and at some point we're just going to have to admit that it's not going to be perfect, and every time we fix one thing, another thing goes out of whack. So he said, how about we try and take your braces off by Christmas? And I was like, okay, I'm not going to argue with that. So I was so excited to go back in November, and then the day of my appointment came around, and I got so nervous that like something was going to change. And then I sat down in the chair, and I had a hygienist that I didn't recognize or wasn't familiar with, and she didn't really seem to be familiar with me either. And she was actually asking me questions about my Sarpi surgery, which I've had a couple times when I go in there. They like don't know anything about it, and they're like not aware that I had it, and which is frustrating because it's like, well, your office like told me to go get it. But anyway, so she was looking at my teeth and she's like, oh, do you want more bummer elastics? And I said, well, only if he wants me to keep wearing them. We're supposed to get the braces off in December here. And she's like, oh, so you don't want things to be perfect then? Just like, okay, I get it. I get that. My teeth aren't perfect. Thanks for the reminder. But anyway, so then my orthodontist came in and he looked at everything and he made his adjustment. And he's like, well, everything looks pretty good, and I'd be comfortable with taking the braces off in December. And I said, okay. And I booked the next available appointment, which was actually November 28th. So coming off a little early, although it's not technically early. Um, yeah, so I've been really excited. Although I think now that the braces are coming off, I focus more on my face and my smile and that kind of thing. And I have to say that I'm not 100% happy with the way that I look through all this. I thought that, or at least in the beginning, I thought that I would be like 100% happy with whatever I wound up with. But, as you go along, you have 2 surgeries and 2.5 years of braces, like you start to nitpick things that are wrong with your appearance. So one thing I've noticed is that in the last maybe 4 or 5 months, my nose seemed bigger, which was something that I had really enjoyed from right after surgery. Like all the swelling and the new position of my upper jaw made it not quite as big, but I feel like now that the swelling is really, really gone, that it sort of just looks exactly the same as it did pre-surgery. So I'll turn my head so you can see, and then I'll be able to see too. But yeah, I've always been self-conscious about my nose. So when I'd had my consultation with my oral surgeon, back in 2013, he said to me, yeah, if you want nose surgery or rhinoplasty, don't go do it until it's been a year since your surgery. And I'm like, well, I never thought I was going to get rhinoplasty, but now I know what you think of my nose. So the other thing I've noticed is that the muscle right in here is not quite as strong as this side. So you can see like my lip kind of like just is not even, like you can't see as much of my lip on this side. Like the skin kind of like covers up my lip there. I don't know what's up with that. And so also when I smile, this side goes up more. You can see it's kind of hard to tell maybe if you're not me, but I can see it goes up here. You can see the gum here and not here. And my smile actually cants down this way and my lips goes this way, so I look like wonky. Although, when I look in this, it doesn't look that odd. But I know that when I talk, like things are crooked, and because this sort of hangs down lower, you see the bottom of these teeth, but not these ones. So yeah, I have to just think about like back when I started all this, that probably really would not have bothered me at all. So I can't let it bother me now, even though I don't love it. Yeah, and I don't love that this lip comes up here higher. And I Google it, and it turns out like if I wanted to do anything better, it would be Botox. So I'm not into that. And I don't even think that's a permanent solution. So to me, it's like I actually kind of admire when people have something like imperfect about their face, and I just have to get used to it on myself. So I think when the braces come off, I'll just be so excited that I'm not going to care anyway, or at least that's the plan. So here's hoping. I made a little list of things I wanted to talk about as usual. Yeah, so I don't know why my bite has not closed. My orthodontist doesn't say anything. My surgeon seemed to think that everything was fine. So I don't know if, the surgeon should have tilted it down more this way. Like, in my opinion, he should have, but I didn't go to medical school, so what do I know? But yeah, it's been disappointing to have that not close properly after surgery. When you're going through all the consultations, and I think I've said this before, but when you're going through all the consultations, they're like, oh, it's going to be perfect. You're going to fix all your problems. You're going to be so happy. And I mean, it's not really like that. It's not really just like perfect. I've seen people on the internet, in a blog or whatever, that are perfectly happy, but I think for a lot of us, it's not that simple. And I had a lot of years of wear on my teeth from my old bite, and I just think that because it was imperfect for so long, I was like biting like really hard on some teeth and not others at all, that things have just worn down, and that it was probably not reasonable to expect that it would be perfect. I'm probably a little bit too old for that, which is sad because I only just turned 30, but that's just the way it is, and it is a lot better than it was before I did all this. The only teeth that touched were my molars, and I like broke a tooth, and I got a root canal, and cavities, like just cavities galore. And now I haven't had anything like that since I started. Although I did have to get a root canal for a tooth that had bothered me for a long time, but yeah, so I can't really complain. Every time I go to the dentist now, they're like, "Oh, your teeth look so good. You don't have any problems. You take such good care of them," and you know. So that's a nice feeling, since I always would have cavities and all these different problems and jaw pain and tooth pain, and gum problems and gum recession from the mouth breathing because my jaw wasn't in the right position. So I do think that it's worth it for all those things. I would probably just, the problems would just keep mounting if I hadn't gone through all this. And so I have to stay reminded of that when things get frustrating, with the bite not closing. But like I said, hopefully things will settle in a positive way when I get the braces off, and we'll see. I am going to make a video when the braces come off, either the day of or the day after, just depending on if I have time to do that, so you can see what it looks like. My big reveal, I'm really, really pumped, and I can't really think about anything else except my teeth coming off. So that's why it was really easy to talk for 10 minutes about my teeth right now, since that's literally all I have been thinking about. So yeah, join me back here on next Monday or Tuesday, the 28th or 29th of November, and you will see these nice pearly whites naked for the first time in 2.5 years. All right, bye-bye.